In Spanish, all nouns are either masculine or feminine. Usually, words that finish en A are feminine and words that finish en O are masculine. La casa, el libro, la fruta, el perro. But the more you study Spanish, the more you find out a lot of exceptions to this rule. El mano, la mano. La agua, el agua. La problema, el problema. Are there any rules to fully understand masculine and feminine in Spanish? And the answer is yes, there are. There are 6 principles you need to know to tell the difference between masculine and feminine in Spanish. And if you want to know these 6 principles, you need to watch this video until the end. Hola, mi nombre es Pablo, and this is Click Spanish, Spanish lessons from a native Spanish speaker in your own language. Principle number 1. Most words ending in A are feminine, and most words ending in O are masculine. This is the most basic rule. You probably already know a lot of examples with this rule. Some feminine words are la bicicleta, la amiga, la ventana, la comida, la silla. Some masculine words are el gato, el amigo, el carro, el muchacho, el baño. This general rule applies for most of the nouns in Spanish, but there are some exceptions. La mano, la radio, la foto, el día, el planeta, el mapa. Principle number 2. Nouns that end in sion, that, tat, or tut are feminine. This rule has no exceptions. Some examples of this rule are la canción, la conversación, la ilusión, la televisión, la amistad, la voluntad, la universidad, la ciudad, la gratitud, la solicitud. Principle number 3. There are many masculine nouns that end in ma. This principle is very important because it explains why there are so many words that end in a in Spanish and yet are masculine. Some examples are el clima, el drama, el idioma, el poema, el sistema, el problema, el programa, el tema, el arma, el esgrima, el fantasma, el plasma. Does this mean that all the words that end in ma are masculine in Spanish? And the answer is no. Not all the words ending in ma are masculine, but as you can see, many are. Some words ending in ma are actually feminine. Some examples are la cima, la dama, la fama, la espuma, la broma, la rama, la tarima, la norma, la calma. So why is this principle helpful? Well, I would say that most of the words that end in ma in Spanish are masculine. However, you should learn the ones that don't when they come your way. Principle number 4. Many nouns in Spanish do not end in o or a and do not follow any rules to know if they are masculine or feminine. This is the most difficult principle for me as a teacher because it is necessary to learn each noun with its own article. Some common examples of this case in the masculine are el animal, el café, el doctor, el hombre, el hospital, el hotel, el tomate, el coche. And some common examples of this case in the feminine are la clase, la calle, la flor, la luz, la mujer, la piel, la suerte, la torre. Principle number 5. A noun ending in ista or nte can be masculine or feminine in Spanish, depending on whether it refers to a male or a female. The article indicates the gender of the noun. What does this mean? Well, it basically says that if you say el artista, you're talking about a male artist. But if you say la artista, you're talking about a female artist. On the other hand, if you say el cantante, you're talking about a male singer. And if you say la cantante, you're talking about a female singer. Got it? Some examples of this rule are el dentista, la dentista, el pianista, la pianista, el taxista, la taxista, el estudiante, la estudiante, el gerente, la gerente, el cliente, la cliente. And that's how we got to principle number 6. Principle number 6. Words beginning with a and ending in a are feminine, but if they have the stress of the word in the first a, they must use the masculine article el when singular and the feminine las when plural. To me, principle number 6 is the most interesting one, and I want you to try to find the logic that makes it work. There are some few words in Spanish that must use the masculine article el in the singular, but the feminine article las in the plural. El agua in the singular, but las aguas in the plural. El hacha in the singular, but las hachas in the plural. El águila, las águilas. El alma, las almas. Can you tell what all these words have in common? Think about it for a moment. Pause the video if you want and get an answer to this question. What all these words have in common? Come on. All these words have the stress of the word on the very first syllable, the a at the beginning of the word. Alma, hacha, águila, agua. All these words are feminine, not masculine. Since all these words begin with the vowel a and have the stress of the word in this very first vowel, can you imagine how they would sound using the singular feminine article la? They would sound something like l'agua, l'hacha, l'águila, l'alma. It would be very difficult to make a difference between the a of the article la and the a of the first syllable of each word. This is why, to make a better pronunciation, we must use the masculine singular article el before these words. El agua, el alma, el águila, el hacha. But even so, all these words are feminine, and that is why we must use las when they are in the plural. In addition, we must use adjectives in the feminine even when they are in the singular. That's why we say phrases like el agua fría, el águila hermosa, el hacha afilada. And it's not correct to say el agua frío, el águila hermoso o el hacha afilado. You must keep in mind that in order to apply this rule, there must be two conditions. The first one, the word must begin and end with the vowel a. And the second one, the word must have the stress of the word on the first a. If a word start and finish with the vowel a, but it doesn't have the stress of the word on the first vowel, then this rule doesn't apply. For example, la abadía. Abadía is a word that has the stress on the vowel I. La hamaca. Hamaca is a word that has the stress on the second vowel, ma. La hamaca. La armada. This is also another word that ends and finishes with the vowel a, but the stress of the word is in the second a. Armada. I know there's a lot to take in this video, but if you watch these principles over and over again, you will be able to memorize this lesson in no time. To summarize, most words ending in a are feminine and most words ending in o are masculine. Nouns that end in sion, that, or tut are feminine. There are no exceptions to this rule. There are many masculine nouns that end in ma. Many nouns in Spanish do not end in o or a and do not follow any rules to know if they are masculine or feminine. It is necessary to learn these words with these articles. A noun ending in ista or nte can be masculine or feminine in Spanish, depending on whether it refers to a male or a female. The article indicates the gender of the noun. Words beginning with a and ending in a are feminine, but if they have the stress of the word in the first a, they must use the masculine article el when singular and the feminine las when plural. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and share it with a friend, and subscribe for more lessons to learn Spanish.